Nashville's where dreamers come to play and stars shine their brightest.
We are off and running in Nashville.
You want a bold performance? How about a 200-mile-per-hour winner-takes-all showcase? This is the main arena. If you ain't first, you're definitely last. Nashville's playing a new tune. Welcome to the fastest racing on earth.
This is the fastest racing on earth. This is Nashville, Tennessee, and this is qualifying live on Fox. Will Buxton, Townsend Bell, James Hinchcliffe with you, and we have already seen the first 4 cars run here today. Christian Rasmussen, the 5th car out on track so far. It is rookie Kyle Collette, the fastest driver so far with an average of 194.827 miles an hour over the 2 laps. Mick Schumacher second fastest, Stingray Rob third, Romain Grosjean fourth, and now the Sultan Sketch himself, Christian Rasmussen, the one-time winner on a short oval, out and qualifying.
One of the most exciting drivers you'll see in all of racing, especially on ovals. Why? Because he's willing to put it all on the edge. There's a big bump right there in the middle of 3 and 4. Rasmussen keeps it pinned and hangs on for his first of 2 timed laps.
And that first lap is quick, guys. 195.9. That puts him quite a ways ahead of Kyle Collette. But we have been seeing about 0.8 to a mile-an-hour drop-off from lap 1 to lap 2. You've got to be consistent. Remember, it's the average of these 2 laps that sets the qualifying time.
About a half a mile an hour to the good over his first lap.
Checker flag.
His second lap is also in the 195s. That gives him a 195.585 average. And Christian Rasmussen for ECR goes to the top of the pile. Now, earlier today, folks, David Malukas in the number 12 Verizon Chevrolet, who qualified second here last year, was involved in a massive accident. Spinning through turn 2, up and into the wall. He was transported to a hospital in the nearby vicinity of the race track. The team trying to put his car back together. We saw the wheel fall off into his lap. With more on his condition, Georgia Henry.
And Will, you can see the 12 car behind me. Right now, it's a very fluid situation. It was put out earlier that if the car was ready by qualifying, Connor Daly would go out and shake that car down. After some discussions, and I was told from Jonathan Duguid, if Connor Daly was to get in the car, he would be the driver for the remainder of the weekend. And they weren't quite ready for that decision with the return of David Malukas possible at this point. The car behind me still getting put together, so not going out and qualifying gives them a little more time to meticulously go over this car and make sure everything is perfect for practice later tonight.
Great intel, Georgia. Thank you so much for that. Connor Daly, 131 races run over 11 seasons in IndyCar. If he is to take part in this weekend for Penske, only Ganassi in the field would be the sole team remaining that Connor hasn't run for. He is an oval specialist. It's a natural choice to put Connor into the car if David isn't able to return. We wish, of course, David well. We hope he is able to get back into the car because he is so competitive on these oval tracks. Still chasing his first victory in the series is David Malukas, as too is Connor Daly, as now Nolan Siegel out on track and attempting to better the fastest time we've seen so far of Christian Rasmussen.
Yeah, Nolan Siegel here with McLaren Racing, looking for his first IndyCar win as well. He's had some good runs on ovals. He knows he will not be coming back to McLaren for 2027, so a great opportunity to throw up a big result this weekend, James, and remind all the other teams that he's someone available with potential.
Young driver from Palo Alto, California. He was top 10 in practice. He was P9, and as he crosses for that second lap, an average of 194.9, so he slots in to P2 behind Rasmussen so far.
With 6 drivers having completed their times, let's head down to Jack Harvey, who's standing by with Graham Rahal.
Graham, earlier on this morning, we heard you not super happy with the car. Were you and the team able to look at the data and make a few more tweaks, carry a bit more confidence into qualifying?
Well, I mean, we'll go after it no matter what. But, yeah, we made a lot of changes. Actually, all 3 cars, we just decided to run totally different. You know, Mick's actually quite happy, but Louis and I have been struggling a lot. So we'll just run all 3 different, see what we get from this. And then, of course, you know, tonight's practice, we'll kind of hone in more. So obviously, he had a really good run there. I don't think we'll have anywhere near that pace. So, but, you know, we'll see. Who knows?
All right, buddy. Best of luck.
all three RLL cars in the bottom 4 in practice this morning. The only other driver in that bottom 4, this guy right here, Dennis Hauger. Leading the Rookie of the Year standings is the reigning Indy Next champion. Highly regarded and yet potentially out of a job at season's end. It has been a tricky first year in the IndyCar Series for a driver who arrived to such exultations and excitement.
It's a tricky first year, but some really incredible performances right out of the gate. That first race in St. Pete, qualified P3, raced his way to a top 10 finish, and since then it's really been a struggle for DCR as a team to find pace. He talked about leading the Rookie of the Year championship. He's also ahead of his teammate Romain Grosjean, who's got a tremendous amount of motorsports experience, a decade in Formula One, and 4 or 5 seasons here in the IndyCar Series. So he's still doing a remarkable job for a young driver that has a very impressive CV in the junior categories.
A horrible first lap, the slowest of everybody, and right now it's his teammate Romain Grosjean who is slowest.
And you see him, he's keeping his foot flat. He's committed to the throttle. This car just doesn't have any pace. There's just no raw speed. 187 mile an hour minimum speed. That was a .92 for Nolan Siegel, and it shows.
Hauger slowest. Easier to keep your foot flat when there's no pace in the car. A miserable day so far for the team. Well, here we are then back in Nashville. It was the season finale in 2025, a race won by Joseph Newgarden from Nashville himself. It was a brilliant way for him to end the season. Georgia is standing by with the fastest man of the day so far. That man is Christian Rasmussen.
I am, Will, and I know his wheels are turning because we're back on an oval. You love ovals. It seems like Christian Rasmussen and ovals go hand in hand. Right now you sit at the top of the board, so tell me about that run.
Yeah, no, I think it was a good run. I wasn't quite happy with the balance that we had in practice, and man, that can really put a dampener on weekends like this because you just have to roll out and be quick. But ECR boys did a great job of turning the car around and giving me something good for qualifying. I really had no remarks, man. Like I stayed flat both laps. Balance was pretty good. So again, we'll see how it holds up. For now, we know that we're not last, so that's good. And yeah, looking forward to see what we can do in the race tomorrow.
You heard him. Big improvements from practice. We'll see how it holds up.
England's Louis Foster out on track for RLL, the 22-year-old from Odium in Hampshire. His father, Nick, was a touring car driver. Louis himself, Rookie of the Year in his debut season in IndyCar last year, now in his sophomore year. Hoping his run doesn't go the way of the England football team. Started off all right, then went south in the second half. Lap 1, let's see what he can put on the board.
You'll notice on the side of the Firestones that red sidewalled tire. That's the softer alternate tire. We're using those here on the oval in Nashville for the first time on an oval this year. We did it here as well last season. That tire is going to give you a little bit more grip over a lap, but maybe degrade and fall off a bit more over a stint. You've got to use 2 sets in the race, but certainly this is the tire you're going to want to qualify on, as it does give you a little bit more of that grip mid-corner.
Lap 2 for Louis Foster. Minimum speed bleeds down to 187. And it's a 193.6 for an average of 194.0.
And unfortunately, that second lap was very much like England's second half against Argentina. All fell to pieces for Louis Foster compared to where he had been. But slides into a P5. Jack.
Scott McLaughlin, before this, you told me you were just a little bit loose in practice. You and the team made a few changes. It's also much hotter. How are you going to balance all of that and try and go out and get P1 today?
Well, Jack Harvey, I don't really know. We'll see how we go. I think car's been honestly pretty solid, just a little loose, like you said. So tune her up a little bit. I think our teammates are a little bit better. Or, you know, Joseph there was a little bit better from a grip perspective in the rear, and we'll see what we got.
Thanks, Scott. Have a great session.
Thank you, Jack Harvey.
Next up, Santino Ferrucci from Woodbury, Connecticut. This guy is never any less than enthralling to watch on oval tracks. A new episode of All In, which you can find on Fox and IndyCar's YouTube channels, focusing on this guy and his path to IndyCar.
Takes the green flag. Excellent minimum speed on the warm-up lap for Ferrucci through turns 3 and 4. His teammate, the rookie Cal Collette, sits third there on the board, and I thought Ferrucci looked equally as strong in practice. Let's see if he can stay flat here. First flyer over the bump right there.
Yeah, he was top 5 in practice. He was very, very quick. No shortage of bravery for this guy. He is so good at keeping it pinned. Lap 1, 195.5.
Nice. Second fastest first lap that we've seen so far today.
Tracking against the ghost car. That's Christian Rasmussen, the ghost car, referencing off Ferrucci. He's going to take a whole bunch of speed to make it up through 3 and 4. A good run from Santino, but I don't think quite enough to bump Rasmussen off the top spot.
Won't be far off. Isn't far off. Goes second, Santino Ferrucci, with an average of 195.3. Decent run for the AJ Foyt Racing drivers. So it's Rasmussen from Ferrucci, Siegel from Collette. That's the top 4 as it stands, with 9 having run. Next up is Alexander Rossi.
I'll tell you what was so impressive about that run was the consistency. Only 4/10
reported under steer. Try to need to stay ahead of it through the run.
4/10 of a mile an hour drop off lap 1 to lap 2. That was Ed Carpenter that we just heard on the radio talking to his driver Alex Rossi heading out, and that's the benefit of your teammate going out in front of you in the line, is you can get a little bit of feedback from the track conditions. If the car setups are similar, you got a good sense of the balance, and the instructions to Rossi where there's a little bit of understeer. Try to stay ahead of it. Adjust the tools you have in the race car to keep that front end pointy and gripped up.
Yeah, 2 tools that drivers have at their disposal for balance. The weight jacker, that'll be controlled on the steering wheel with electric button control, and the roll bars. Those are mechanical levers to the right or left of each of your thighs, and that adjusts the mechanical roll rate of the car. It's kind of like tuning the sails on a sailboat, as Rossi will look to take that information, optimize his balance, and try to go one better than his teammate.
The 34-year-old from California, now one of the elder statesmen in the sport, has never had a pole on an oval, but this team, this car, comes alive on this kind of race circuit.
He's had a win on an oval at the one that matters the most, Indy 500.
Indianapolis 500 at the very first attempt for Alexander Rossi way back in 2016 on the 100th running, and that first lap is massive, 196.1. That is the fastest we've seen today.
Oh, a little bit of high there coming out of turn 2, and that allows Rasmussen on the lower part of your screen. You see Rasmussen clawing back the deficit. That ghost card comparison looks very close at the line.
Staying lower just allows him to have a slightly shorter distance off the corner. It's going to be super tight between the teammates.
It's an ECR 1-2, advantage Rossi, 195.6.
1/10 of a mile an hour average over 2 laps here. That is as close as you want.
All rosy for ECR 1-2 in Tennessee.
Palucci's qualifying effort is complete. Happy with that, or is there more to be found? Yeah, obviously, pretty good. We'll take it. I mean, we can make sure we're doing it out.
Follow every episode on Spotify, plus race replays and other stories featuring your favorite drivers. These days, you've got 2 choices.
We're back for qualifying at the Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix. Next driver out is Kyffin Simpson. 10 drivers have made their runs, completed their runs, and it's Alexander Rossi and Christian Rasmussen for ECR 1-2 from AJ Foyt, Santino Ferrucci, and McLaren's Nolan Siegel. Next up, the man from the Cayman Islands driving for Chip Ganassi Racing. He will be back next year alongside Alex Palou and an as yet undetermined teammate, given that Scott Dixon, a driver who has had a quarter of a century with this team, has announced his departure and that he will be joining Zach Brown's McLaren operation to run for a 7th title and a 2nd Indianapolis 500.
It was here last year that I thought Kyffin Simpson had the best race of his young IndyCar career, challenging Scott McLaughlin and Team Penske for the final spot on the podium. He looked brave, he looked composed, and very, very comfortable on the concrete oval here in Nashville. He's been pretty decent in practice, James. Looked comfortable, not quite as good as Alex Palou.
Who is? But he knows how to get it done here. Like you say, he had a very strong race. He knows what the race car needs. So with that time between practice and qualifying, had a chance to go back, look at the data, try to figure out what he needed to change to this number 8 machine to get it where he wanted it. And remember, this is a long race, guys, as he clocks that first lap in 194.1. Not the kind of pace he would have liked to have seen, but in a long race, you've got a lot of opportunity to make up ground.
Short oval qualifying has been trickier for Kiffin Simpson, although at the Indianapolis 500 on the Superspeedway, the 2.5-mile circuit that hosts the jewel in the crown for the IndyCar Series. He actually qualified in 7th place. He slots in to 7th place, but there are still another 14 drivers left to run. Jack Harvey down on pit lane with our current fastest man.
Alexander Rossi, so far you are the fastest car, but not super happy with your run. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we just didn't get the balance right. It wasn't very well executed from my side. So I think that's just a testament to the inherent speed of the car to be able to be quickest so far with a pretty messy run. So disappointed with it because I think there's potential on the table if we do a couple things differently. But as we all know, it's going to be a very long race tomorrow and a whole lot to play for with the alternate tires and that sort of thing. So it'll be a great show. It's just a little disappointing right now.
Thank you, Alex. Best of luck tomorrow.
Well, it's always good when you're disappointed with the fastest run of the day so far. He said, maybe missed the balance a bit, not executed properly on his side either. That probably talks about things like, the shift strategy is something you work out with your engineer ahead of time, your hybrid deployment strategy, staying ahead of the tools like we were talking about, and Ed Carpenter mentioned to him on that outlap. A couple different things a driver can do. It's not just keep your foot planted and turn left. I know it's only 2 laps, but there's a lot of nuance that goes into qualifying on an oval.
And this guy knows all about that. 71 poles in his IndyCar career, 19 of them having come his way on oval. Spent the majority of his career with Penske. But Will Power now drives for Andretti so far this season on the short ovals at Phoenix and at St. Louis. Outside the top 20 in both. Crashed
out of 4
at Phoenix. This weekend, though, looking up for Will Power. Let's see what his first lap looks like. 196.1 was Rossi's time for the first lap. The time to beat, lap to beat. That lap time for Will Power is a 195.0. 1 mile an hour down.
Watching on board, I was particularly impressed with the handling of this car in practice. Like you just heard from Rossi, will be a long race, 300 laps. We've never seen it this long at Nashville. How does that car ride through the bump? Not bad, but the outright speed not there for Power as it completes lap 2.
Not bad is not good enough. Will Power 5th, 194.8. We've heard from Rossi. We've heard from Rasmussen. Why don't we hear from the guy who's currently 3rd? That man is Santino Ferrucci.
Santino Ferrucci, one of the drivers in the 195s. Now, you just told me you felt like you should have trimmed just a little bit more. Is that one of the challenges on a jam-packed day like today where you only have 1 practice session to nail it?
Yeah, obviously it's how much risk you want to take. We trimmed quite a bit more than this in practice, and going over the bump in 4, I just kind of lost the car, but I kept my foot in it, but the lap time was good. It's just, with a 300 lap race, you can actually pass here. It's multiple lanes. I've come from the back here before multiple times to finish well, and I just told the engineers, I was like, I'd rather have more fun not messing with the balance and just running 2 the exact same laps than anything else. And did my best iRacing impression, and I don't think it helped as much as I thought it would.
Thanks, Santino.
I like the idea of 2 ECRs and that AJ Foyt racing car for Santino Ferrucci racing together. This guy was supposed to be out on track right now.
Oh, looks like it's running now.
Graham Rahal couldn't get it fired. Does get it fired? No, and it stalls again. Big problems for the RLL driver, and I think that's all she wrote. They'll try and fire it again. His teammate
no fuel pressure, wouldn't run.
In 9th, Schumacher in 7th. No fuel pressure, won't run, is the word from Graham Rahal.
Now, you only get 60 seconds once you are signaled by race director Kyle Novak that it is your turn, and the clock ran out. So even if they got that car started, they had closed their window. The track was no longer eligible for them. So bit of an issue. You can see the clock right there is reading 0, and that's why Kyle Novak had to step in and say, cut it, job done. So they got it fired, but just not in time. What a brutal development for Graham Rahal.
Didn't sound like even with it fired that things were going to work out there for Graham. Here I'm talking about a fuel pressure issue. They were already struggling for speed in practice.
25th
and we're dead last. So it's been a really tough day.
Looks like it will be slowest in practice and last on the grid for Graham Rahal.
We say that we still have some penalties that are going to be applied once the field is set.
That we do. We do.
He'll be near the back. Whether he's absolutely dead last in the field, to be determined.
From Christchurch, New Zealand, 25-year-old Marcus Armstrong, perhaps the forgotten man of this year's Indianapolis 500. We remember so well the fight to the line, the inches that separated his teammate Felix Rosenqvist from the Penske of David Malukas. But this was the man who led the field back to green on that final lap. This was the guy who got fenced in by his teammate, and who, with a couple of different decisions over that last 2.5 miles, could well have left that weekend with the biggest prize in motorsport. It wasn't to be. He's still chasing his first win, and you feel it's not far away from him. Such an exciting driver, and still so young at 25, with so much experience in this sport and so much potential.
Yeah, and very consistent as Marcus Armstrong. And if Indy wasn't disappointment enough, follow that up with what should have been his first win in Road America, only to have an engine failure in the closing lap. So Armstrong has demonstrated to his race team, I can do it on ovals, I can do it on road courses, maybe I can do it for you here this weekend in Nashville. Let's see what kind of speed he has.
And in demonstrating that to his team, they were keen to secure his signature for a new contract. They have done so. He will stay with Meyer Shank Racing into 2027 and beyond.
Strong first lap.
Strong first lap, but he's got to have pretty bulletproof consistency if he's going to maintain atop the time charts. You see the ghost car there, Alex Rossi, still just about a car length ahead.
Oh, but Armstrong slowly starts to gain there on the backstretch.
He really is.
Balance looked really good over the bump. No hybrid left to deploy, though. He used it all on that first lap.
It's a great run from Armstrong, and it places him third. 195.578. So it's Rossi and Rasmussen from Armstrong and Ferrucci. No dice, though, for Graham Rahal.
Never had that. Shit. That's what fucking fell.
Now we were sitting there bumping it.
They told us you.
I just wasn't in the cards today, but we got a ton of tires for the race. So maybe, you never know, right? I mean, I've had a 10-lap dash or shootout at the end of these things, and guys go out of tires, do the pit stops, and
Welcome back to Tennessee, to the Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix. Rinus VK, full name, Rinus van Kanthout, from Hoofddorp in the Netherlands, grew up in the wheel tracks of Max Verstappen, now over here stateside, chasing glory. Already a race winner in this championship, qualifies and races beautifully on ovals. Running for the JHR team. one of the smaller teams in the championship, but if anybody can make a difference on the day, history has shown that it can be this man.
Green flag.
And what's so impressive is he's been doing some pretty impressive things with smaller teams. Last year with Dale Coyne Racing, this year moved across to Juncos Hollander Racing, both smaller outfits in the IndyCar Series, but some impressive results from this guy, running that car far above where it should be on more than one occasion in every season that he's been running with that level of organization.
And impressive maturity and growth. When he first came on the scene as a rookie, he was the wild child of the IndyCar Series. All bravery, very little knowledge, and some big mistakes and some very impressive passes. He caught the eye of a few other team owners and has really settled in nicely this season. Like you said, James, really delivering for a smaller organization. Sits 11th in the championship right now. And lap 2, solid. Put VK P4.
Look at the consistency between those two lap times for Rinus VK. 195.453, 195.416 gives him a 195.434 average. That is the most consistent run we've seen today, and it is reflected with his 4th place. The man who sits 3rd, one spot ahead of him, though, Marcus Armstrong with Georgia.
Yep, that Meyershank Racing's Marcus Armstrong. He's 3rd on the board right now. Tell me about your run, especially in the conditions like this. It's a little windy, it's very hot, ever-changing.
It is. It's windy, it's hot, it's lovely weather, actually. Lovely weather for the beach. I think it's like 90 degrees, so it is warm. I've only done 3 laps and I'm sweating, so, but it's still good. It's fun, car feels fast, so we're good.
Calm, cool, and collected. That's Marcus Armstrong.
It talks about the temperature. 94 degrees is the ambient, 128 degrees track temp. And as that track temp rises, the tires start to get hotter when you run them. The hotter the tires get, they start to get greasy and lose grip. So these conditions, as it gets hotter, makes it more and more challenging. Throw in a little bit of wind, a bit of a tailwind into turn 1 right now, and it can make for a very challenging 2 laps.
Marcus Ericsson, an Indy 500 race winner, and on a podium this year on a short oval. That was at St. Louis a couple of races ago. He led the majority of that race. Qualifying on ovals hasn't been his strong suit this year. Was 13th in practice, but hoping to improve on that 7th place that his teammate Will Power occupies at the moment and get closer to the P1 that his teammate Carl Kirkwood held in practice this morning. 195.4 is good, not great for a first lap.
Don't know how much hybrid he would have used there on the first lap. I think I saw about 30% remaining. So he's still in with a sniff of Alexander Rossi's ghost car through 3 and 4. He had a scare on that bump this morning. He's able to hang on for lap 2.
That's checker flag.
Does he have the consistency? He has the pace. 195.389, and the consistency is great. 195.4, 195.3. VK to 4, Ericsson to 5th.
Scanners has everything you need to get in on the action. Listen to team communications, hear the radio broadcast, and immerse yourself into every lap of exciting IndyCar action. Purchase your own.
Next up on track, Sir Scott Dixon, a 6-time champion, the second most of all time. 21 straight seasons it is now with a win, still chasing that victory this year for 22. 12.1 is his average finish this season, not at the level that Sir Scott Dixon expects. He will race still in a shade of orange next year. It will be the papaya of McLaren. He is into his swan song with Chip Ganassi Racing. Almost a quarter of a century with this storied team.
He comes in here with a phenomenal track record, 3 times a winner here at Nashville. One of the only repeat winners that we've got in the field, so he knows how to get it done. The trademark Gibson guitar trophy, he's got a couple of them back at the house. Would love to add another one as he is neck and neck with the number 20 of Alex Rossi.
Tracking really well, but man, the steering wheel looks lively for Dixon. That thing looks darty, twitchy. It's a handful, but it is fast. Lap 1, 195.9.
I love how this ghost car shows you the difference in line and how shorter lines, just a shorter distance. And that just, you saw how much he closed up there on the exit of 2 just by being a little bit tighter off the corner. If he can do the same thing off of 4 here, he's looking real solid.
The wily old master Scott Dixon, has he got another pole in him? Rossi watches on, and he watches Dixon go to P1. 195.8 the average. It will not be a first oval pole for Alexander Rossi. Scott Dixon takes over at the top of the timings. We were impressed with the consistency from Rinus VeeKay earlier. 5th place for him. Jack Harvey standing by with the Dutchman.
Rocket Rinus VeeKay. Very nice run by you and your team in qualifying just now. We were talking about temperature. How hot is it inside the car? That demand, how are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. That was a really good run, consistent. Great job by the Arco 76 crew at JHR. Car was very consistent, drove very well, and had a fun time out of there, which it's important to have a fun time. It is pretty hot in the car, but honestly, it's out of the car where my feet are burning off, so that's that's tough. But yeah, I mean, I'll go back to AC in a few minutes.
Well, maybe I'll come and join you after qualifying in the AC, but great run, man. Best of luck tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you, and you're always welcome to join.
Green flag. I think that tells you 2 things. 1, track temperature is up. 2, race boots are actually pretty thin. We sit on board with Scott McLaughlin. The 33 is the 33-year-old from New Zealand, running the Odyssey Battery Chevrolet this weekend for Team Penske. So fast on ovals is Scott McLaughlin, but over that bump, a little twitch of a lift over the line for his first lap. It's a big one, 196.190.
But can he hang on for lap 2? That was a big hit of the bump, and he is high in turn 2. He's working the anti-roll bar, stiffening up the front of the car for this last lap, last corner. Bam! Through the bump, he hangs on.
It's been 4 years since Scott Dixon took a pole position in IndyCar.
Checker flag there. Checker flag.
The weight goes on. McLaughlin to the top, 196.087. What a run from the New Zealander. Next up, though, it's Felix Rosenqvist. Malukas has to defend from Rosenqvist. Great run up the final corner. Here comes Rosenqvist. Malukas defends. Who has it? Over the line. Who's it going to be?
Outside.
It's Rosenqvist.
Clear.
It's Rosenqvist. Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Oh, it's the thing. I'm in a dream.
May 2026 was the biggest and most important month in 34-year-old
With a
Swede.
win or on the steering 3 and 4. The tail end of 1, so on your nose in 3.
Biggest month in Felix Rosenqvist's life. Became a father for the first time. Got to hold his baby girl and his first Borg Warner trophy, all within the space of 2 weeks. As a result of that, he has secured a return to McLaren in 2027. What a turnaround in the career, what a turnaround in the year for Felix Rosenqvist. Absolutely incredible stuff. Qualified 4th with the Indianapolis 500, qualified 4th last time we were at a short oval in St. Louis. What can he do today?
Well, and the way in which Felix Rosenqvist extended his IndyCar career in the most spectacular fashion. The closest finish, of course, in Indy 500 history. The gutsiest, I think, final lap in Indy 500 history. And James, he's going to need all of those guts and bravery here to make it work on this bumpy track. He was asking his spotter about wind direction, and the answer was, you're taking it on the nose right here as you turn into turn 3. So Rosenqvist knows that things will feel a little more positive on the front end of his steering wheel. And then as he goes through the bump, now he's picking up a tailwind. It's going to be pushing him at top speed into turn 1.
And that's when the driver can have an adjustment in the cockpit from one end to the other to try to make that balance a little more equal across the two ends of the racetrack. But you can see clearly on the tracker not having a pole running pace right now.
Well over a mile an hour off the pace for that first lap. Slower than his teammate Marcus Armstrong at the same time. Over the line for Felix Rosenqvist. It will not be his day today.
Boy, that's a disappointment for Rosenqvist, down in 13th provisionally.
13th, and still quite a few quick cars to run. Including this guy, Joseph Newgarden of Team Penske, going back to last year's finale in Nashville where he took the victory and the guitar. Then you forward to the next oval race, that was Phoenix this year, wins there.
Then the Indy 500, a massive impact with the wall. And the resultant damage to his left leg left him bruised, battered, but not beaten, because 2 weeks later, he took the victory in St. Louis. Unreal. The warrior spirit of the two-time champion, Joseph Newgarden, out on track to qualify for Team Penske. The second and final Team Penske car that we will see today. As we understand it, David Malukas' car is not ready to compete. Connor Daly was due to be getting into that to try and qualify. That will not happen now. The team yet to make a decision on whether it is Daly or Malukas who will practice later today. That is their final opportunity to put Daly in the car if they want to have a replacement driver in that car for the race tomorrow. Otherwise, they will only be a two-car operation.
Heavy on the weight jacker was Joseph Newgarden on the warm-up lap. He's still after it with his left thumb right there. He's trying to balance his race car. He has way too much understeer. Let's see if he can stay flat on lap 1.
Big warm-up lap, 193.4.
But he got way high, I think, James, there on the exit of turn 2. So still fighting the push.
Adjusting the bars, adjusting the weight jacker, not super happy. He had a lift coming to the green through 3 and 4. That's going to hurt the starting speed of that lap. But let's look at the time.
Oh my goodness! It's a 196.9. That's astronomical.
It's got to be so cool for Newgarden to be back on home turf on a track where he's not suffering like he did on the last 2 road courses in Wisconsin and Ohio as Newgarden comes to the line.
Yeah, that broken left foot doesn't need it. It's not really needed on the ovals. You just got to hold that right foot planted.
You just need guts. Guts gives you speed. Newgarden by over half a mile an hour average. It's a 196.642, and that is going to take some beating. 4 drivers remain, but do any of them have what it takes to beat Joseph Newgarden? What a run.
I do enjoy the fight that it is in a race. You've prepared yourself for that, and I don't know if you want to call it the stamina or whatever, up against anybody in the paddock. You know, when those hot days come around, I know there's a lot of guys out there that will make mistakes, and you can see it, and you got to be prepared for that.
Big stamina guy. We know Pato O'Ward is a stamina guy.
We know Pato O'Ward is a stamina guy. We know Pato O'Ward is an oval guy. He loves this kind of racetrack. From Monterrey, Mexico, has the support not just of his homeland, has so much support within the NTT IndyCar Series fan base as a whole, and that is because he is so exciting, so personable, such a joy to watch behind the wheel.
And so much talent, especially on ovals, and really it was Joseph Newgarden who just ran back in Pato O'Ward's rookie year, who called out the young Mexican and said he is a star for the future. So impressed was Newgarden at O'Ward's oval prowess, and now it's O'Ward's turn to try to dethrone the king of ovals, Joseph Newgarden.
King of the future is the king for now. Well, certainly in terms of fan popularity. That opening lap for him, that warm-up speed, 191.9, about a mile an hour off Newgarden's warm-up lap. How is that transposed into his first lap, though, when it really matters? Over the line, it's a 195.7. It's a way off Newgarden.
But still pretty stout, pretty tidy. But just look at that distance compared to what we've seen from other comparisons. That just shows you the gap that Newgarden has over P2 McLaughlin at the moment.
And it also just shows you the risk probably Newgarden and his team were willing to take with trimming the car out, removing some downforce off, and just hanging on to it as Newgarden calmly, coolly watches on. He knows what he's done.
Pato O'Ward will not get it done with this run. Average of a 195.1 puts him down in 10th place, which means we have just 3 drivers left to run. The first is his teammate, Christian Lundgaard. O'Ward beat to the victory last time out.
It was 1 week before that. This guy was victorious. So 2 races ago, Lundgaard, last race, Pato O'Ward. So McLaren on a bit of a roll, but not running far enough after his teammate to really get too much meaningful information to be able to make changes to that car. There's only so much you can do once you're in the qualifying line anyway. But this guy will have gotten some feedback on that in-lap from Pato and maybe had to adjust something in the car before he got going.
He knows that his 2 teammates there sit 10th and 11th, so can Lundgaard find magic and a good gap over the 2 other McLarens?
And it's on ovals where the magic has been lacking for Christian Lundgaard. It's his lack of success and overall pace on ovals that has led to McLaren letting him go at the end of what will be his 2nd season with the team. A multiple race winner for them, their highest placed driver in the championship, 3rd as it stands, arriving here in Nashville. Christian Lundgaard's first lap for them. He'll come around, he'll finish it off on this lap, but his first one, the warm-up speed, was massive.
That's bigger than what we saw from Joseph Newgarden, almost 3 miles an hour faster than his teammate Pato O'Ward on the warm-up lap. Now, remember, you got to finish both of these laps. You hope you didn't use too much of that good rubber on that Firestone too early on that warm-up lap, because that first lap, not enough. Not enough by a long shot.
I think that first lap was slower than his warm-up lap. And it's not where it needs to be for Lundgaard. Needs a pop performance, needs a good showing on an oval, just to try to prove his current employers wrong. I don't think this is going to be the one for him, certainly not in qualifying. There's still the race tomorrow, but for Christian Lundgaard, that is a horror show. It's 17th place.
You can see the balance way off, fighting understeer, having to lift in 3 and 4.
No upshift alarms. Or no lights for upshift.
I was going to say, I felt like I heard him get into the hard limiter on that upshift heading into 3 on the 2nd lap, and that could be a reason for it. The drivers have not only shift lights, but also an audible cue, a sound that comes through their earpieces. You can see the lights on Kyle Kirkwood's machine across the top of the dash there. When they get to the center, you shift up, but you're also given a tone, so that way you don't have to look down at your wheel all the time. He got into the hard limiter because he wasn't getting that tone, which can be so distracting for a driver.
Qualifying here today in reverse championship order, so the 2 drivers left to go are the top 2 in the championship. The driver in 2nd place, Kyle Kirkwood from Jupiter, Florida, has been so consistent this year. Was known as something of a street racing specialist until a breakthrough win last year on ovals proved that he could mix it on any type of racetrack.
Also got his first road course podium last time out in Mid-Ohio. So this guy, we've talked about it a lot this year, Townsend, just how much he's upped his game in really every area. Dominant win at Arlington, career best finishes at places like Barber and Mid-Ohio. He's really just keeping himself in the conversation. And how about that for a warm-up lap? Almost a 196.
My goodness.
Question is that too fast? He's thinking about making an adjustment in the steering wheel as you see the ghost car of Joseph Newgarden fading into the distance. This is a big first lap for the American.
Absolutely massive from Kirkwood. 197.389, but how much time will he bleed? How much time can he hang on to on this 2nd lap? What a run from the man in 2nd place in the championship.
It's not one and done. You got to back it up here in the IndyCar Series with a 2nd lap over that bump in 3 and 4. Looking stout right now.
Checkered flag.
The run to the line for Kirkwood. He jumps to the top.
Good job.
196. 8.2 average. That is a statement. But there's 1 driver left. the man who can achieve the impossible, Alex Palou. It will take something magical, but Alex Palou knows how to pull magic out of nothing. He is your 4-time champion, the 4th driver in history to win 4 championships in 5 seasons. He is the 2025 Indy 500 champion. There is seemingly nothing he cannot do. Over half of the races since 2021, he has been in that position. Wins since 2025, 12.
Rest of the field combined 16 in that same period.
Incredible.
Absolutely outstanding run of form that this driver's been on for half a decade now. But this is the one guy Kyle Kirkwood needs to beat tomorrow to close that championship gap. He's put himself in a great position, a guaranteed front row start for Kirkwood. But where can Palou slot in?
And as we're reminded of the World Cup final tomorrow here on Fox and that shot of Messi, if there's a Messi in this sport, it is Alex Palou, the guy with the magic touch. I just don't know if his team, Chip Ganassi Racing, has the magic in the car. Kirkwood with a monster 2 laps, so impressive. But wouldn't it be great for Kyle Kirkwood to live rent-free overnight in Alex Palou's head?
Green flag.
Remember the last oval we were at, it was this guy on pole back in Gateway in the middle of a string of 5 consecutive pole positions. So we know he can get it done in qualifying, and that
big warm-up
is a big, not quite as big as Kirkwood, and you can see it on the tracker. He does not have the speed so far to catch the Andretti Global driver.
Kirkwood tracking ahead of the reigning champion and championship leader Alex Palou. 1 lap to try and get it all done and turn it around for the man that everybody has a target on. Kirkwood has done all he can. He watches on and wonders if the pole will be his.
His body language tells me he's not wondering at all. He knows he's going to get pole here. As Palou comes to the line, it'll be good, but not good enough.
Oh, and Palou only 4th fastest. It's Kirkwood and Newgarden, McLaughlin and Palou, the front 2 rolls.
Hey, good job. Good job. Good job. I just held it flat.
The only other oval pole for Kirkwood came exactly here 2 years ago. Let's head down and hear from the NTT P1 award winner. Georgia is standing by with a very happy Kyle Kirkwood.
He changes his hat. He figured out he got it, first of all, and I heard you just say to your team, I just held it flat. You made it look simple, but I know it was not. Tell us about it, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Quite honestly, man, it's the car that Andretti gives me here. We were quick in practice. We've been good here the past couple of years. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I mean, you do the same that everything everybody else is doing, right? You just hold it flat and you hope your car goes fast, and they built a really good car around me. Did everything right, managed the tools a little bit, got aggressive with some trims, so yeah, it worked out well.
This is your 2nd pole here at Nashville Superspeedway. Yeah. So what is it about this place that works with you and the team?
I mean, that's a great question. You know, our cars they're built fast. Andretti, Sam's Club, I mean, Honda, right? Honda power, giving us that horsepower to get around this place really fast. And we finished well here in the past. Not from the lead, though, the last time. So we're going to want to change that record, because the last time we started from the lead, we didn't do as well, and we got hosed on a caution. So we're going to try and change that, but really good day overall. Very happy with this.
Thank you, Kyle. Congratulations to Kyle Kirkwood and the 27 team. Jack Harvey.
Joseph Newgarden's going to be starting on the outside of the front row tomorrow. Joseph, your home race, just how much fun is it being here as the hometown boy?
It's nice to sleep in my own bed. You know, it's a little weird because I'm so used to being somewhere else, so it can distract you if you let it go too far, but it's nice to be at home and then to drive out here every day. It's great to be in Nashville. We got a great car here. We started yesterday, or earlier this morning, really well with the demo cars, so I think the team did everything they could today, and we got a good viewpoint for tomorrow now.
So many conversations about the heat, how hard it is in the car. Do you guys, when you get to this stage of the season, change any training to try and combat that?
That's a good question. I think the best training is being in the car. You know, that race in Mid-Ohio is going to give you the best training environment. You know, a lot of guys have different modalities that they try and put into place for training, like you said, but I think just being in the car is the best thing. So that's why I'm trying to stay in the seat. But, you know, you can get in a sauna or go for a run like we were talking about. I know you went for one in the heat. That'll do the trick. It'll get you used to it. Yeah, it's bad.
All right, thank you, Joseph.
Well, Townsend, James, it's a really exciting lineup for the race tomorrow. An All-American front row. 2 ECRs in the top 10. Ferrucci and O'Ward just outside the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a mixed-up grid in some ways, but, I mean, importantly, what we always see, those championship contenders both right up there in the top 5. It's going to be interesting to see if guys like Lundgaard can make a comeback. What can Pato O'Ward do? And ultimately, is David Malukas even going to start this race?
Yeah, we'll have to find out what tomorrow brings. But teammates could factor into the results tomorrow for Kirkwood, for Palou, and those 2 Team Penske cars with McLaughlin and Newgarden starting up front. The big teams with the big drivers for 300 laps.
Well, we talk about big teams, and coming up next on Fox, the FIFA World Cup bronze final as France takes on England. Come on, England. It's coming home. The bronze is coming home. And tomorrow on Fox, Spain faces defending champion Argentina in the FIFA World Cup final. An extended pre-game special starts 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox, followed by the Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix here in Nashville. You don't have to change channel. Stay with Fox throughout your Sunday. Stay with Fox right now. France versus England for the bronze in the World Cup. Kirkwood's on pole. England are bringing the bronze home.